We love hip hop.
I know, dude. This is the setup, man. I'm looking. See, I have to I'm building all this kind of shit too at home too. I got a little thing. My studio is dope. I haven't even told nobody. My studio. I'm not showing. I don't show. You see me on Grab. I don't show a lot because I just want it. Just when it's done, it's just gonna be done. That's the other. It's the way. Well, do you know what it is? It's just a new way to move. I just see what's happening in the world, so I figured out I move this way.
Yeah.
I walk good.
Bring your mic a little bit closer to you.
Yeah, for sure.
You could use some lean in there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear your sound?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. You know what I was saying before, and we're already recording here, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the whole Drizzy Drake thing, he's been the top rapper for so long, but we haven't had like a whole bunch of other examples, like Drake duplicates, like, or I'm not even talking about like his skills. I'm talking about just his success, or like a quarter of his success. We don't have 10 Drakes that are coming out of Toronto since then.
This is the weirdest scene ever, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's the other bricks in the building aren't there. Like when I was raised between Toronto and New York, I think I'm different from every other rapper out here. I was raised with the culture in my heart, and that's just the blessing of my family since birth. Since birth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like all my hip hop is. I spent every summer in New York since I was a baby.
Yeah.
Until I was 22. I brought back even a lot of the records, and you see the culture is not like the culture was here. I remember KRS-Com. The culture was here to up to about 91. It's almost that point when Ron went to dance hall.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the culture left, man. KRS-Com, what happened? It's like, I used to feel the hip hop energy. It's something tangible in the air you could feel.
Yeah.
Now I walk around Toronto, I don't feel it no more.
You don't feel that same kind of energy.
Even my music, like I do my music, it's export music. Like my music, I don't expect to do, but I put it, I'm working with a producer in Germany, New York, California, MCs. You look at my projects, they're from all around the world. They're not from here. And it's thriving. We got to have every part, I think, represented for that to happen. And on Drake's hip, I don't know if it's responsibility. It's not his responsibility, but it's just as an artist, like he tried to put on what's his name? But it's like
he has Smiley on his label. He has Roy Woods on his label. All his roster, Party Next Door, everybody, they're all Canadian.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or they were founded here, like Majid Jordan. It's just that there hasn't been somebody who besides Tory Lanez, who's been another, like for Drake being so large, and we're gonna get into our interview.
Yeah, exactly.
But for Drake being so large in the game, we should have a whole bunch of duplicates of that success level coming out, just because the label's like, wow, if we can get one, maybe we can get another.
But Drake's unique because he has that same thing that I have. He's raised both sides of the border. He has that American in him. Like you have to understand Americans to thrive in America. And Torontonians are still even discover where Torontonians are. You see what I'm saying? Like the culture's so entrenched. My family in New York City goes back to like the 1800s, man, in Harlem, man.
Yeah.
Like this generation goes back. But I seen the pictures, right? Black and white's back. It's culture, and that culture, that's during slavery. They couldn't go into Harlem, man. That's the safe place. So there's certain things that culture is born, right? There's a reason why hip hop even came out of New York City. And went everywhere else, right? And we participate in it, but are we really part of the culture? You know what I mean? And the culture is always the foundation. That's how I can have a 30-year career plus. Because I respect the culture. I'm still here. I remember, I'm the first rapper in Billboard, dude. If you look and see, I was there with Soul Decision. I was up to number 7 on TRL. I was touring with Beyonce.
The first rapper on Billboard?
I was the first rapper on Billboard. Go look.
Period? Like not Canadian rapper? Like,
Canadian rapper. No, Canadian rapper.
Okay, a Canadian rapper.
I was the one that was there. Like no one was looking at it at that time. But if you go back, I have the clip. It's there. And in the States, they were the hottest new act in America that year.
Yo, fam.
So when I left and disappeared to do that, people were like, I was gone. Dude, I know Knowles. I was with all those people. He knows me like I was sitting with you. I was in those rooms. But you see, so I did the underground.
Beyonce's daddy.
Yeah, so I seen the underground, underground, because I got tapped in Primo, Pete Rock, and I seen the top, right? And then I seen the circuit and the tour. And it's a system. We don't have that system of Starr making up here. And they have the management, the system, the thing, and they work it in that way.
Yeah.
Like when Act gets into town right away, and we get off the plane, there's a thing that everybody does. You get off, you go to a hotel, you check in your thing, everybody goes to the gym. 2 hours, you come, it's this thing, the dancers do this. It's like it's a machine. And the funny thing about American Hero is people think it's so big. Dude, I felt like I was here within a month because you seen everybody in a month, you knew the whole industry, just like here. But the business side and the machine,
the game is the country's big, but the game is small.
Well,
that might be a title for something.
Well, there's only look at our market, right? Our artists always came out and people look down and we only did 30,000. That's huge because there's only like 250,000, maybe now 300,000 people of African heritage in Toronto, man, as a base. So what? And then there was only like 5 million people here, and Canada only has 26 million. New York State has more people than the whole of Canada, man.
That's
New York
facts.
City probably has more people. Like there's probably about 20 million people if you take all the people off the record, illegal aliens, everything, right?
Yeah. I'm writing this down. The country is big, but the game is small. We had a title early in this episode right here. You know
so that's why even me, I exported my game. Like I'm not beating myself up. I'm not trying to get mad. I even tell other artists, don't. You're just in this weird kind of market, and that's why. Like Drake would have sat here. We were talking earlier. I know the story. He would have sat if he didn't go and make his moves down south, and he had to make moves. I know he made moves for a year, right?
Yeah, but
he wouldn't have been there, dude. He would have been.
Imagine he never left.
He would have been because his demo was on everybody's desk. I know Ivan was trying to get him signed. Everybody, but nothing was. Canada labels have like just did the industry like wrong. There's a lot of people in positions that had no power. Because they had constrictions. I worked at the labels, man.
Hold on. Before we get to that, because I want to get to that in a chronological order.
Okay, let's go.
Let's start this off officially.
Okay, let's go.
I got some tunage to start us off, but hold on. There's a little ad here on my thing here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll give it a little kick, 10-second countdown because we got a legend in the building today. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's some interviews out there, and salute to them. But we over here at the We Love Hip Hop Network. So
that's a nice warm intro.
All right.
Oh, that room, man. We made all those songs in Esplanade. That room every Saturday. Oh my gosh. Big up Scam.
Big up Scam.
I got to big up Concrete Mob too. They was there too. Everybody's energies and there's a lot of people's energy in all those records.
No, for sure. For sure.
Jamming. Let's go.
So let's get into it. It's your boy Friday Ricky Dread. We are back at it. Another interview for your head top. Before we get into this, big salute to the sponsors, Astro Pink. If you know, you know. Check them out on their website, myastropink.com, or you can check them out on their Instagram, Astro Pink Worldwide. And make sure to check out the video from Smiley Sixers available on their YouTube channel right now. Also, big up to the sponsors, Diamond Club. They got deliveries all over the GTA. All right. Make sure to let them know that the boy Friday Ricky Dread sent you, and they might give you a little discount. You can find them on Instagram, Diamond Club _905, or you can find them on the 7 Days of Weed website. But, you know, we were having a little bit of a pre-roll conversation before we get into the real meat and potatoes of this today. And I've been really, really happy to have this gentleman come through and grace the Visionary Arts Center. You know what I'm saying? A long time in the making, a staple in this hip hop community, like I was saying over that crazy scam beat that was just playing just now. All right. A man that has been here as one of the original Toronto rappers. Okay. Billboard before any of these other rappers have been on Billboard. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he's worn many hats in the game, from working for the labels, working as a rapper, working for magazines. With no further ado, we have Thrust, the OG, in the building. In the motherfucking building. Where's my sound effect?
Oh yeah, we're finally doing this up, man. We're finally doing this up, and you know your timing is great, man. Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you.
I know. I see the show. Its schedule is crazy.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you, man.
No, fam. We appreciate you, fam. And you know, let me start this by thanking you for all the things that you have done and the contributions that you've done for this hip hop community, specifically Toronto, because you've bridged the gap from the States. You've put on a lot of guys, and I want to definitely get into it. You know what I'm saying? Even off top. Like you working with Eric B from a couple of years ago now for EBMG.
Yeah, we were supposed to start the label. I was supposed to head his label. That was crazy. I initially got signed, And then I was gonna be his first artist, like that went through.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna run the label, but then the label fell apart. I didn't end up really doing the label. But that process, that was exciting, man. That was exciting.
How did that even come to fruition in the first place?
It was through the person that connected the signing. But I gotta leave that off the record. You know the person, but they asked out of their respect. But yeah, like I said, I've been in the game so long, I know people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know people that are next to people, and that's the beauty of the game. So, and I heard, like I said, and the stories is crazy. But.
And for a lot of people who don't realize, if you look at some of these historic pictures of hip hop figures in this game, if Thrust is not there in the front with somebody, he's there in the background. You know what I'm saying? So, and you joined the 50 Club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I joined it a while. I joined
about 3 years ago. So
at COVID, man.
About
right
2
in
years
the COVID
ago.
year, man. It was
how
a
is
fun.
that,
I couldn't
fam?
even. It was so. Well, you know what? For me, it's just a blessing, and I'm good. Like I'm happy. I'm at the happiest place in my life, actually. Really.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. She's like 11 now.
Yeah.
I had my daughter later. So I didn't have any kids until then. So it's like I'm reliving the childhood through her. I'm at my healthiest you guys seen. I'm like healthy as can be. I'm really settled, man. Like my setup is good. So yeah, so I think age is something hits you if you're not in a certain place where you want to be. So I think when I'm at the point where I want to be at this age.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone would want to be there. I'm comfortable. Like my income is not through music. And that's one thing I think that changed a lot of stuff too. I think we talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
and it's important. It's an important thing. I remember I heard Kara say it a long time ago, like, are you crazy? What are you talking about, man? You know, way back, but it's always kind of in the back of your head. But yeah, and that's an important thing. So my music is free. I'm just doing what I want to do and having fun. And there's nobody to tell me you can't do it because it's not like before at the label game. And I've been blessed with a lot of stuff that's happened too. Like you seen last year, all the releases, like, my music's just been coming back to life.
You're going crazy.
8 pieces of vinyl.
Yeah.
And we're doing fun stuff. Like color jackets. Like, you don't have time to do that. Like, who would expect it? So, like I said, if as an artist, be able to be like that, and I connect with young, old, every generation I'm still tapped in with. Yeah. Hey, man, life's good, man.
No, it's a blessing, fam.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man.
And even like what you're even just mentioning just now, like before we get into the history, you mentioned like in an interview I was watching that you're in the stage of your career that you're just making art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
I'm just making art. Like my music, because here's the thing I realize, and you realize later, even though you can have all your numbers, all your things, but when you're gone or stuff that lasts is art. What you leave behind. So if you leave behind the realest piece, people are going to see it, and that's what's going to be looked at, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just building my legacy. I've had all those records. Like I said, we talked earlier. I've been on that Billboard thing happened when? That was early 2000s and stuff, right? So you look at it. So I touched the top. My favorite DJs been playing my records and still playing my records. So you get to a point, okay, what are you going to do? And what are you going to add to the scene? So I'm just looking at a piece because I still know that my rhyming skills are impeccable and I can sit on a track with anybody. And a lot of people don't want to sit on the track with me. You know what I mean? So that's really where it came down to in a sense, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. And like let's go back a bit, right? Or let's go back a lot. You're an annex baby. You grew up in the annex.
Yeah, man.
Right? So tell me about life growing up, like at pre-high school times, like in the annex. Like what was that like? Because most mans who I talk to, they come from certain this ends or that ends. But for the people who don't know, the annex is like West End.
It's weird.
Northwest
DuPont Station, like DuPont, like it's the best. That's how you see me, and I'm tapped in with so many people. Because Jungle is just a couple stations up here.
It's true.
Right? Most people think a lot of people thought I was from Finch, because I was with Finch people most of the time you see me. And I went to school, and I could always get home. The Blue Line, right along Blue at the thing, right? Yeah. I was always 20 minutes to half an hour away from anything.
And Vaughn and Oakwood is not too far.
I was always with Vaughn, man.
Yeah.
I went to this, what's the name of the school? The Vaughn Road for like the remedial classes on Saturdays. Okay. How many people did that? Like, so it's a Toronto thing. Yeah, that's the thing. So once you live in that area, you tap into and you don't even have to drive. You just get on your bicycle when you're small, riding around. Esplanade, downtown, Regent. I've been tapped in Regent for a long time. All those areas, because once you're in that quadrant, right?
Yeah, because it's relatively downtown, but not downtown. Yeah,
I was blessed. My parents, like my dad's a plumber and my mom worked for the government. But how I got into hip hop was my dad's a plumber And Warren from Sunshine's electrician. I've known Warren. That's why I got into hip hop, from Sunshine.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. So even that was a blessing. Warren's known me since, I know the Wembley Film since I was like 2 years old, 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So when they started doing all the hip hop shows, and then we started promo with Ron. So I started in grade 7. I was doing promotion with Ron. DJ X's mom did a concert with Ron Nelson.
Yeah, Ron Nelson, for the people who don't know, right?
Yeah, the foundation.
You got to remember, we're feeding some of the babies right now, so they don't know.
Okay, Ron Nelson is our Kool Herc.
Yes. Talk to them about it.
Our version of Kool Herc. He's the man that solidified the scene. Radio promoter, also concert. He brought all the shows, and you see all the footage from Public Enemy to Run DMC to whoever you can name, all the legacy artists.
Yeah, and this is late 80s.
Yeah, and he had the hip hop radio show from 1 to 4. That was like the source for the whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I came in with him with the shorty, but I was always this size. That's the thing. People thought I was like old. I was always this size from 15.
Yeah.
I never grew much, right? So people always thought I was like in my 20s, but I was 15.
Yeah, and
16,
when
right?
you were younger, you're a chubbier
Oh,
guy.
I was 100 pounds. I was a big,
Yeah,
I was a little
yeah.
force when I walked. Like, oh, who's that guy? And then I was rolling with the right people from the jump, right? And then we would always go to New York at those times too. So we was back and forth. Because those dudes would go to New York in the summer too. It was a cool thing. The Toronto people would be up here at that time, and we had family estates, and we'd all go to Brooklyn in the summer. Then we hang out for a couple of weeks. Then we come back and go to school here in September, and then we go for March break. That's how we grew up in the car back for. I was driving New York since I was 16 years old. Like I got my license, boom, in the car, gone.
And we'll let's save the New York part of the story.
But the annex thing, but you were saying back, the annex. So that's the beauty of the annex, because I was able to like go to all and the annex, because concert hall was so close. That's the other thing.
Yes.
So our main venue was concert hall. So the fact that I was in the annex, Warren did all the sound all the time. I was tapped in, and then eventually I worked with Ron. But even before Ron, I was at those breakdance, like the Pepsi Challenge, breakdance, the Crunchy Challenge.
They had all like the first shows that were happening
ever.
Yeah.
I was not the first. I was at the second one because I was underage, man. But because Uncle Warren's doing the show, come on, Dad, Uncle Warren. It's Warren. Okay, I'm gonna drive you there. You're gonna meet me outside at 2 a.m. to drive you back home.
Yeah.
Of course, I came outside 5 a.m. You know what I'm saying? It's concert hall. Everything's late.
This is different times. So
right?
like,
that time's different.
Yeah. So you could be a shorty and be out those times,
Dude,
late in times.
Those times were ill. We partied. Toronto would party from 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. all summer. That was the show. That's what set the scene, man. 8 to 5. What? So basically in the summer, our sunlight, it would be sunlight to sunlight.
Yeah. Straight up.
Right? That tweeting bird, that's on my summer. Tweet, 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 going in. And tweet, tweet, tweet. You walk into the all-night bus, you see everybody or doing a little mission.
You see the sun when you're coming out the jam.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of the annex. I was close to that. And then so it was good for my family, my parents. And then, it was just that convenience thing, right?
Yeah, and you went to Runnymede High School.
I went to Northern, and then I went to Runnymede.
Okay.
So that helped a lot too, because Northern was a big school. That's how I tapped in with, I went to school at the same time with Tilt from Point Blank and all of them.
Yeah,
so that's how I have a relationship with them. That wasn't the first group I was in. Me, Bolton, Tilt Rock had a group. So I was the only person walking in Regent Park myself. Dude, I was walking in Regent Park myself from the 80s. I'd walk into Rexdale. People, this dude, who was this guy? Jungle. That was the craziest one. Walking the line to the center.
Yeah.
And all the man them outside. Just walk.
Just on some rap, though.
No, I'm almost a rap, but see, I had decided, the thing with me that was ill is that I also would walk New York by myself. So if you walk New York yourself, when you come back to Toronto, you just walk Toronto.
Yeah.
My family, my aunt in New York was in Flatbush, off Atlantic and shit, Carroll Street. So I'd walk through, you have to cut through Marcy. I would walk to Fulton Mall, come back with my bags and shop, and it's me, myself. So I just know how to walk. There's a way to walk as a solo guy. So that was the link. So I think we pretty much answered that one.
So then, like, and them times, right? You start getting into the hip hop, and you mentioned Ron Nelson. Okay, now tell me about the earliest times working with Ron. Like from grade 7, you started working with Ron Nelson.
Grade 7, we did promo. We used to drive around with Ron for all his shows. He had a promotion. We did original street promotion back then. So it was me, DJ X. That's where I met Mastermind. Mastermind.
And you guys had a group together at some point,
we
too.
We had a group that came from those times, right? We tried doing promo in the summers. Those 2 summers, it was like 85 and 86, I would say, right? Okay. Driving around, blasting Eric B. and Ron's car around this crazy subwoofer in this Toyota, stretch thing. We do all up and down Young Street everywhere. Boom, boom, posters. Ron used to do posters. There was no internet, so posters. We go up to Flemo. We're going to every area tagging the stuff, and then he'd go to the show.
Yeah.
And then
And what were you guys promoting?
And from that, like all the big concerts, it could be what Public Enemy, Phat, whoever.
So just
Love
concerts,
Jam.
no albums?
No, just concerts, and like he'd have those like Love Jams or Pajama.
Okay.
Yeah, just all the shows, right? But on Ron's shows, as people understand, Ron broke the scene because he, as a promoter, and promoters, you can learn from this, he made sure every one of those shows, we had a show every month, like every month and a half, 2 months, and there was 2 big shows a year, right? He made sure there was always 3 local acts on that show. So that's how Wes got his name. When Wes had Vision, Wes had the thing, right? But I've been out before Wes too. Like there's a lot of such people know. I've been out in the streets before a lot of cats, but I wasn't at that level of rapping, right? So, but so there was that. And even Mishi with all those artists. They don't mention my brother K Force, the legend. Yo,
K Force, yeah.
Force is the man responsible for so much, even my own thing. He got to get his dap, his love. He needs his own little section in this, right? But that's how we formed the scene because they'd open for all. That's how Mishi got seen, and KRS wanted to work, right?
Yeah, because she was with First Priority.
And then he did the 2 battles. He did New York versus Toronto. So after the 2 battles, when we battled, that's when the managers, promoters started mixing, and the signings and everything started happening.
Okay. Now, this is like late 80s, early 90s.
This is like 85 to like 88. Prime. Okay. Just before 89, because 89 is the year we had like the most amount of signings in a year to this day.
Yeah, like I heard you mention on the Breaking Records interview how that time there was 8 signees at least. Well, look, big salute to the sponsors, Astro Pink. If you know, you know. Check them out on their website, myastropink.com, or you can check them out on their Instagram, Astro Pink Worldwide, and make sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel. New video with Smiley called Sixers out now.
I'll tell you, I can put them in front of you.
Yeah,
I haven't had Rumble and Strong signed to Island G Street. There's a Cypress Hill remix. He had Crush and Scad signed. He had HDV signed. He had Mishi Me signed. Right? Who else am I missing? There's other one. Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go.
And these are all separate labels.
And I'm going to throw you. Then there's Wes. There's Be Cool. He came Simply Majestic. My brother Carl. Like, you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that was happening, like all in that 1 year, man. And then Dream Warriors are the biggest artists. Dream Warriors don't get the flowers, man. Dream Warriors don't get, I don't think people realize they sold 1 million records in a year.
Yeah, back then.
Back then,
they had a song with Beanie Man.
And they were gold in the States, and they were gold in Canada in 1 year, man. It's like, that's what I'm trying to say. Our scene, because a lot of artists, I get it, you weren't there, but our scene was thriving even more in that late. Because when you go to the nights, it was all hip, like 80% of the music played that night was hip hop. You didn't even hear reggae. Reggae didn't come until 91, 92. Dancehall reggae scene, that's when you see the outskirt parties. I'm talking about the big downtown shows. Yeah. Like, nah, you hear more slow jams and shit.
Yeah.
It was a different thing. And there's a change of guard. Nothing stays the same, but that's why I say it's relevant. And that's why me as an artist, I stay at it because I'm that piece from that time that makes people like, you have to remember it. You can't jump over it. Yeah. And I'm the voice for all those people. Those people are all on my phone, like hailing me from the yo, thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's also one of the nicest thing, man. When those people reach out from all those different areas of Toronto, they all check in and say, yo, man, thank you. I see you. Yo, keep moving. Yo, flag.
Well, you were there from the beginning. Yeah. And even when you started breaking out more on your own, for your own music, right? You signed a record deal with Phat Beats Record, like back in 94.
I was the original Phat Beats distribution artist. And we also had Groove Attack in Germany. I was around the world with those records at that time, but people weren't looking at the records, right? They were looking at artists here. It was a different time, major artists here. People didn't realize how big the market was and how influential. Like, we were the first artists played on 88 Hip Hop, like the number 3 song.
And for the people, not to interrupt you, right? Yeah. For the people who don't know, Phat Beats is like a major independent, like we'll call it, right? It's the
biggest hip hop indie. Yeah. It's the foundation.
Yeah, right? And coming out of New York City.
Out of New York City. Yeah.
This is back then. Go.
Yeah. So we were the first artist we were like the third artist signed, I think, that came out through there, did the deal with them. And yeah, like I said, like my numbers, the funny thing about me is, and I like it that way, my numbers aren't out there. You can't track my numbers, dude, because my numbers are vinyl. And so many people looked at careers and glorified other careers and did this and that. I always say, even here's another artist like that, like Frankenstein. Frankenstein's out of this world. Frankenstein's vinyl sales, dude, and how big Frankenstein is outside of here, he's bigger than 90% of the rappers he's sitting down talking.
I think he's huge in Germany,
He's huge in New York. They consider him a top 10 producer, man. Like when we walk in New York, cats are like, yo, they look at you like you're Pete Rock, jumping out of cars and shit.
Yeah.
Because our records got played, like so much play and that stuff, but everybody, it wasn't until Northern Touch came down the line that I think cats kind of realized, oh, they're getting some buzz down there because people are so local. People here stayed, right? And like you said, so we were always leaving and coming back. And because we always had that tap in and it was natural, we were able to get into those markets. But we just got tired of up here, I think, after what happened in 1990. And I thought after that big thing with our Dream Warriors West and everything, at that time we're talking about, that all of us as artists underneath, right, that were the younger artists coming up, we all thought we would have got signed. So we did the Cold Front, which is the first, like, compilation, rap EP, whatever. I saw a post today about it, actually. I think Bronski threw it up. Big up Bronski. But yeah, so, but then a year or two came, nothing. And we realized, because Canada really hasn't invested in our scene like that.
Yeah.
That the labels, it's been a charade. The only label I could say that really invested in the scene, and it was like a mandate, was EMI.
And I want to, let's wait for the EMI stuff, because you were a very integral part of the whole EMI unit and everything, right? But when things started getting a little bit, like when you guys thought you were going to get signed and you didn't, is that when you started Blueprint Records?
Yeah, I went to Harris. That's the timeline. Like I said, okay, I always wanted to go to Harris, like, or to Trevis, but then Harris, so hey, I like this church. And they had like the RAM program, recording arts, graduates, both, graduates of the program.
Yeah, well, I didn't graduate, but I was there.
You was there.
I was there all the way to the end, and I off.
Well, a lot of people did that, and they went to great things because it didn't make sense. For me, it just made sense because my partner's there, and so that didn't take anything away from it.
And
right?
you went back to teach after.
Yeah, I went back. I did a course there for a while. I did an urban course in there for like 4 years. Yeah, man.
Just a tidbit for the people who don't know. You know what I'm saying? But starting.
So Blueprint. That was because that was in that little bubble. And we realized had to go indie. And I think a lot of people were scared to go indie at that time. And people I was working with, friends, everything. I'm not going to say names, but they were, because I was about to get signed. I had a group, KGB. KGB, we had 2 label deals in 91, 92. Like we had 3 offers in 93.
Really?
That's how I met Pete Rock and CL Smooth when they did their EP. We had a meeting with the A&R. I had meetings, the A&R meetings, but my group fell apart. KGB fell apart. I had like 3 things on the table that were ready to go, and the group fell apart.
Why?
Because the groups fall apart. You know what I'm saying? Look at hip hop.
Mans couldn't see the vision at the time?
It's certain, because it's a collaboration of people, right? Like me and 10 is still tight to this day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a business thing. And we were young, 18, 19, 20, with all this thing going on, right? Because we were running around with Main Source too. Like I was close with K-Cut too. So I was in New York. That's even that time. I was supposed to be in the first video and just to get a rep video. I remember we got too high smoking weed. We went to 54 to the tunnel. We fucking crashed on the woke up, missed the whole shoot and shit. There's all these crazy stories, man. Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, so I had and I seen it. So that's when I said, you know what? I'm done with groups. That's my name. People don't name for a long time. But I was in groups from like the start of my career. I wasn't just thrust. That didn't come to like 96, 97, closer to the Northern Touch time. So people tapped me in there, but no, it's from 87. You see what I mean? So that's you got to go back another 10, man.
Yeah.
Really, right? Because that was my Monster Jam, 86, 87. That's when he came on stage, right? So, and went from there, which that's a whole other show. But yeah, what are you going to say? Go ahead.
Let me stop for a minute and go back into history before we move forward. During those times when you were moving around, like as a young man out of the annex, right? For as long as I know you, I never, you were always around and in the streets for doing this hip hop stuff, but you were a guy who stayed out of trouble. How did you manage to stay out of trouble? Or did you dabble a little bit in the streets and say, yo, you know what? I'm not fucking with this, bro.
Dude, I definitely dabbled, dude. I dabbled like a mother. But it was till I was 18. My friends are the most infamous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that track Rage, you can look up, you know what I'm saying? I remember his nephew hit me, big up his nephew, man. yo, tell me about my uncle, man. Tell me about, like, my friends were the most illest, and we were the ones going back and forth between New York. My friends brought the crack and the guns, as they say. I was around all that stuff. I remember when I found a big vial of crack at Finch, and it was like a fork in the road, man. 18 crack, me and 10 up in his room. Look, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? What we gonna do?
Yeah.
And the rest of my friends, because my friends were the ones driving around with the links,
the gold chains,
the freaking thing. That was our crew, man. Like, it was like that was them, right? But I had a gift. I had a home. I had a foundation. I think I had a family, and I think that's really what it was. And my parents, you know what it was too. And I give props to my parents. My parents let me do my hip hop thing. I had an agreement.
Yeah,
and it was like, as long as the police don't bring you home, you could go on and do this hip hop thing as much. Like, finish school, right? Graduate high school, finish school, and don't let the police bring you home. Then you can go do this hip hop thing all you want.
Yeah. And
then remember, I didn't have to pay for the shows. I was down with the right people. Everything was there. And then when it got to that point, my friends just said, "Yo, Chris, you got talent. Go over there."
Yeah.
You know? And my friends started dying. Like, I lost 5 people before I was 20, dude.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been around and seen a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
So you just learn, if the smart ones learn. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's blessing, man. And so let's move forward now, right? We're into the 90s now, okay? You got the independent label, you're putting out your own music, and then the Rascals and Cardinal and everybody, it's the Rascals who originally decide to put the song together, right?
No. I'm part of that, dude.
Okay. So,
Dude,
hold on.
Like
We're going to get into heavy Northern Touch talk right now. So everybody who wants to hear Northern Touch talk, we're getting into it now.
I said,
let's go.
I'm part of that.
Okay.
And that never gets told too. And I'm not in a lot of rooms.
Because you are the famous last verse. You know what I'm saying?
I'm much bigger. Thrust. I'm like of a style that you want to represent, present. In other words, I pay the rent.
I'm the famous last verse, and I'm part of the reason. I'm the reason that the Rascals verse is like that.
Like the intertwined style.
Dude, I can mix. I've been in studios mixing. Dude, I'm on Dude, if you're doing a project and you know me, I'm one of those people. My hands are in a lot of stuff. So that's when I was at the label. I was working, and that song initially was supposed to be on our MC Mario comp. So they wanted to get certain. They wanted to have a CanCon song on there, and they got me, Big C, Saul, Ivan, Evidente. I think it was Ivan at that time. Might not have been Ivan at that time. I just put Ivan because at the label, right?
So you were already working for Virgin.
I was working for Virgin at that time, and they know I was an artist, and they wanted me on the song too, right? But like I said, I'm multifaceted. I had the label because I ran my own business too, right? So my hands were in different pots, right?
Yeah.
So okay. So from that, they said, let's do this call and figure out this song. So we all did it like a big conference call, and they're trying to figure out the song, who should be in it. Even the initial song, Cardinal wasn't supposed to be in the song. It was supposed to be Julie Black and Chaos in the chorus.
What?
Big salute to our sponsors, Diamond Club Delivery. They got delivery all over the GTA and a crazy selection of flowers, tinctures, edibles, and everything that you need. You can also check them out on the 7 Days of Weed website, s7daw.com, or you can check them out on their Instagram, diamondclub_905.
That's the initial hook. But when we got to the studio, at the session was me and Shocks. So the Rascals did their verse over and checks. We went to me and Shocks met the studio here. That's when we first heard it.
Yeah.
And we did our takes, like, dude, and like that was like we were in that studio for like maybe 15 minutes. It was like most of my takes, just so you know, I don't know me. That's why I have told my takes are one takes. I don't do like multi takes.
And you freestyled a lot back then too.
Oh yeah.
You didn't write back then.
No, I wrote back then. I freestyle live, but my albums are all written. Yeah.
Okay.
But I have the multifaceted, like I could be the freestyle rapper like that too when you see me, right? But no, I've always penned my stuff.
Okay,
but
that's a misconception.
But I also can write like that verse is all in my head. I never put it on paper. I have that too.
Wow.
That's why I can rap. Dude, in front of you, put a beat on right now. Dude, in 4 minutes it's done. It sounds dope. Like when you hear my music, like all those songs, dude, I'm on my life, on my daughter's life, I don't take any more than 3 minutes to do that. Man.
Wow.
So that's why people see my process. If you're around me, it's intimidating. You see that. So everyone's like this.
So how long did it take you to write that verse?
What?
The Northern Touch verse?
I just thought it out in probably 3 days, had it in my head, went in and we did it quick. Shocks is quick too. Shocks did that shit quick too.
So how did it change from Julie Black and Chaos.
Because we couldn't get them on the phone to do the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And then we obviously could get Cardi, so we called Cardi.
Mm-hmm.
And he called, remember he had allergies. That's why his voice was very like, he sounds different. He was like, oh my, you barely even breathe.
Oh.
Came in, figured out the hook, blah, 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 and we have the magic.
Wow. And okay, another thing that I didn't get to ask the Rascals when I was interviewing them is the beat. Because you guys were intertwined. You're in the label, system at this point. Okay? This beat is the same beat as the Get At Me Dogs beat. Or the same sample.
That was just the universe.
No, but was there any conflict in clearing samples, anything for that?
They had to clear my little part.
Really? Oh, the Gold Digger.
You know where that sample's from? Yeah, man. They had to clear that.
Wow. Because you guys are officially putting this out.
Yeah.
You're, like I said,
official, yeah.
Like I'll reiterate, you're in the label system putting this out.
Yeah, I went through Warner Chappell.
Super Mario.
Warner Chappell Publishing and went through the full,
and people who don't know those Super Mario, because we gotta give people some concise history here, right? We could throw these names on. People will be like, what is that? What is that?
Exactly.
Those Super Marios were like these mega mix albums that used to come out. And they would have a few hip hop songs on it, and then some like I'm a Barbie
But here's
girl.
the thing,
Everything on
but
there.
it never came out. That song sat in limbo for a year. Because we did the song, it sat for like 7-8 months. And Saul had it because I like this song. It's so good. Da, da, da. So Saul decided. Saul guy was the managers of the Rascals managers.
Yeah,
you guys don't know, right?
So look at Saul.
Big up Saul guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he decided, you know what? I'm gonna press it up on my own. I'm gonna put it out. And he was working at Bad Boy as an intern for Puff at that time, right?
Yeah.
So the record came out in New York. That dude, he put the record out in the pools up here, and nobody played it for 6 months. And then people went by that summer. It was like September. By December, that's when the DMX November. It was bubbling in New York. The New York DJs were playing it. But that's what I'm saying. People were surprised. How could it get played in New York? Because our records were always Toronto had such a nice vibe in New York for our records.
Yeah.
Between like 94 to like 99 in that time. If you went to New York, if you went into like, I remember we went to all the seminars. We used to go to all those seminars down there. You pulled the records out like that, dude, they were gone in like Toronto Records Canada. Boom!
Yeah.
Because our records had such a dope sound. Grassroots, this, that. Listen, Ghetto Concept, Infinite. Oh my God. You know what I see? It's like if you look at all the angles and put it together, Monolith, everything. Like it's like, whoa, man. Right? So they were eating it up, man. So all the shows were banging it. But up here, we didn't have that confidence. We didn't have that, right? So yeah, so that's how it happened. So the DJs went to that December when they went to visit their cousins, they're hearing it playing on the radio like crazy. Like, what the hell? So then they came back and they called up Saul, yo, I need that record. And Saul, every one of them had the record. You can ask Saul himself, he'll tell you. So that's when they pulled it out, started playing, and we did the video like that February. That song was around for like a year, and we forgot about it. It was like a year and a half, 2 years later.
Crazy.
And then when the video came out, the New York thing we knew, but our records are getting played in New York. Like my records are getting played in New York. Sorry, my records are getting played in New York for like 4 years straight at that point. Like, I mean, 20 minutes back to forth, Marley Marl, Pete Rock. I have the tapes. I can play them for you guys. MCs, all those joints, right? So we knew, okay, well, that's cool. But we're just working on new shit, right?
Yeah.
And then when the video came out, that's when you felt it in the air. That day, that Saturday, like, oh, shoot. And that was a nice feel, like $100,000 video. That was the first, like, Little X. That's Little X busting out.
Early, yeah.
That was like his second or third video in the can when he was just getting with Hype Williams. So that was like a big thing. And then that was on BET. That was a good thing because BET was on 20 million homes at that time. So when we were on BET, all those videos, man, was getting run, right?
Yeah. So then, boom. Now you lit. Okay, like now, well, as we say in 2023, we lit. We lit,
oh,
right?
It's all,
so now when you walk on the street as a young Chris, as Thrust now, what's the difference?
Dude, the craziest thing, it's Toronto, so you don't see it that much. When you leave here, we seen it.
Right.
We did the tours. That was the craziest thing. From that, we did the first real, like, tours. They went tour, a little 2-3. So that's when it was bananas, dude. And I can't even talk about that shit. I can't. It was
what happens on tour stays on tour.
Pulled away. I was like, hey, man. Oh, my gosh, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because people hit you like on Instagram. Hey, do you remember me from back on? And you're like, I don't remember nothing. You're like, yeah, I remember you. And you're like, dude, I do not remember nothing from that time. Because the cool thing with that was like, we were at that point, everybody was intertwined, cool, friends. It was nice to go out. But we didn't realize what we had because I was trying to get everybody to do an album that time and nobody listened to me. Could you imagine that? Like to ride the momentum?
The Northern Touch album?
Yeah, I said at that time, all the artists, I go, we have the buzz, we have the hottest song, we messed up. I go, we should have done the Northern Touch All-Stars. Get everybody together, 4-track, boom, boom, boom. And I said, it was like, and then everybody thought they would do it on their own.
Wow.
And then who really, really, think about it, career-wise though, who really, really got there on their own?
The guy who wasn't supposed to be on the song. The guy who wasn't supposed to.
But even as a career, I'm not, no disrespect to Cardi, even as a career, he didn't hit like a crazy pinnacle. What was the crazy pinnacle that, like he didn't surpass DreamWorks, he didn't surpass West, sales-wise, he didn't.
No, Dangerous, bro.
Dangerous, that, I relate that to Chemo and Akon though. Yes. That's a single, and that's streaming time. Streaming time is not, I'm talking about like $9.99 a record, and you sell them, do the math, man. That's why I still do vinyl. The math, streaming up, I'm only focused on my streaming this year. Because I represent, and you see the number. Because the math, dude, the math on vinyl, if you really do the math on vinyl, dude, why would you even stream? Streaming is a ripoff. It is the most insane concept and thing ever introduced. It should be illegal. Yeah. I do not understand how it even happened because the pay, like the rate, it's ridiculous. And you see, that's why the film industry right now, they're starting to see, and they're fighting back. They're like, they're smart. We need to learn from the film industry.
Now AI is starting to write their scripts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like, come on, man. So that's the take on it. Because we could have propelled ourselves to really, 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 like, you know what I'm saying? Really, really sell. And I'm talking about album sale. We could have been on those levels because the quality of the music is there.
And
but we didn't have the business, team. Right?
Yeah, you guys are like mega all-stars. And like to go back a bit, right? Because you're already in a label system. And I was always intrigued watching back in the days, and I have a 2-part question. 1, how did you get the job working for Virgin EMI? And then 2, as being an artist, was that ever a conflict of interest? Because this is the question I had watching your music videos back then.
No. It was never a conflict of interest.
So, okay, let's start with getting the job there first. How did you get the job there first?
You don't want to hear it's crazy. It's just like it was meant to be. I graduated from Harris. And I was like the day after, and I was always, you go in and out of the label. I knew Virgin, I knew Russ, and then whatever. And I just like we drop into BMG or Warner or whatever.
Yeah.
So I dropped it, yo, what's up? And they're like, yo, Thrust, you want a job? It was literally that, man. They go, what? Wow. We got an opening, da-da-da-da. I know you were going to the school here, and you're an artist, and you can still do your music, everything. See, anything can be arranged. That's the thing about music that I learned from young. Music is the best because you can arrange everything. No one contract's the same in music. There's nothing that's the same.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own arrangement, right? So you can arrange your life. So I knew, okay, I'm gonna go and do this. I only worked 2.5 days. I only had to go in the office for 2.5 days a week.
Wow.
Plus I had my weekends. And I was able to do my music. I said, if you guys want me, I still got to do my music. It's independent, whatever, right? And they're like, sure. So I just negotiated like right on the spot. Yeah.
So,
and as far as conflict, there was never conflict because I don't see how there could have really, like, there wasn't because I was promoting Shot Claire. And then I had other people doing my promo for me. Like my ideas came out. I had 2 other people. I worked with Musically Insane and Samantha Jagan when I had my label. So it wasn't like it was just me at the label. I had 2 other people. So
yeah, because when you dropped that, do you really want some money? That video there, I was like, wait a minute. He works for EMI, but that song and like the music at the time was coming out on EMI.
Yeah, but I was on Virgin, not
Virgin.
But it's 2 different companies.
EMI was the mother label.
Yeah, they owned it.
Right?
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? But EMI wanted to sign me. It's like I quit my job to go on tour and I got my deal. It was a crazy story. But then it was a license deal. So they just licensed like that album.
Oh.
You see it? So I was never signed. It was a license deal too. That's another thing. I was never directly signed to the label. It was a license. I'm the one artist that owns all his music. All my music is mine. 100%. No one and I licensed it out. That's why I see all those projects. Oh, you got a 3-year license? Go, come back. Label, you want to do some stuff? Oh, come. That's what the beauty of owning your catalog. A lot of artists up here, they didn't own their publishing. They sold it to Warner Chappell. Warner Chappell was giving a lot of deals, man, to a lot of the hip hop scene, and a lot of people with those deals. So then later on, people coming to you for your catalog, for your songs, for your this. Well, hey man, the money got to go over here.
Warner Chappell's catalog is crazy.
Yeah, so I never did a publishing deal. I knew that was advantage of me going to school. Like me going to that school and making that year.
Yeah.
Sacrifice, at that time, it was like critical. And it's actually paying off more now.
Yeah.
Even more now. So but now, like I was able to negotiate like my deal with Jordan Jacobs, the lawyer. I was the first artist that he could talk to. I understood the contract.
Yeah.
I took contracts. I got 100%. I got 100% in contracts. I came out. I went, I came out. I was like, yo, man. So I could talk to you now.
Listen, this is your interview, but I'll just add something quick to that because that was very beneficial to me too. Even though I didn't graduate, I stayed all the way. Yeah, I stayed all the way to the end.
Yeah, man.
And my lawyer was the same lawyer that was teaching, I think, the contracts course, right? Kate Henderson, Salute Kate Henderson, right? Yeah. She's the same person who writes up contracts for me if I need a contract to this day.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Hail her up, man. That's crazy, man.
I got to meet Ivan Berry, who the Dream Warriors
and
connection.
I interned Ivan at that time.
Right?
When I left, yeah. So
it was like that school was really a pinnacle in this Toronto scene as well. So salute to Mike Harris, not Mike Harris the politician, but the Mike Harris who
of Harris
Institute, right?
For the
other guy, Mark Harris, but the Mike Harris who started the Harris Institute.
Yo,
you know him.
Do you know we started with a reggae band?
Get out of here!
He told me the story in 1977. He started his music career with the reggae band. And as he goes, that's why he always had affinity for it. He goes, yeah, I went on the road with these crazy rastas and smoking weed in the van. If you ever see him, they'll tell you the story. I go, what? Well, that's why you're cool.
Wow.
And it was, those things just gave you that structure. Like I said, I always tell people I'm a lot like Jay-Z and I have Jay-Z's timeline, but I'm in Toronto.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could have moved, and I could have moved the whole time. My family's in the States, but I just like Toronto raised. I just like Toronto, man, because we see the America, it was like the Wizard of Oz, man, where there was this whole facade, but now the curtains are drawn back and everybody's seeing what's really there. But it was there the whole time.
It's the internet,
the whole time. Yeah, the internet.
The internet has become the grand equalizer, bro.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's almost too much now.
Well,
because it's stifling the creativity. It's stifling the creativity, dude. And that's the worst thing to happen, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, even me, I just turn off. I don't even watch it. Like my music is fresh now because I'm not even tapped in like that. Like I listen to certain shows 2-3 times a week on my Sirius XM. I tap into y'all to know the local, like what the local scene is doing. I'm on the gram. So I want to be all the new generation, like whether you see me or don't know me, I've always been that artist. If you know me, that's the thing about me. I'm probably the most approachable artist. I don't have that envy for somebody new or somebody old. I know my place. You know what I mean? I know my place in the timeline, right? So, but so that's how I keep tapped in. But it's like just to keep that fresh, creative vibe, man. We got to elevate the game. Like the sound. I heard you guys talking about it too. The sound here, like Toronto rap is like
we ain't got no sound.
We don't have a sound.
What sound?
We don't have a sound.
They get mad when I say it, but I'm gonna say it again. What sound?
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Because even me as an artist, I'm not a local rap. I've never been local. Even for the time I started rapping, I wasn't local. So my sound is indicative of me spending that time in New York. Like if you know my time, my hip. That's what I was educated. It's like I was in Mecca. You know what I mean? Like you can be into Islam, but it's Islam, but you're in Mecca and you study Islam. Like you know what I'm saying? So
you gotta go to the Bronx
different
for us. You know what I'm saying?
So it just rubbed off from the jump, like from the message, before the message, man.
Yeah.
Like that's when I first heard it was in the city. So it's like I know and I see the people, like people don't realize in New York, like, everybody raps in New York. They're not trying to be a rapper. Everyone just walks around rapping, dude. Like it's a different spot. It's like when you go to Jamaica and you hear like the music constantly playing, but that's hip hop playing. All these buildings all around, every sound, and one sound to play for half an hour. That's a Dipset. That cut off. Now it's going to be this guy, Wu-Tang, for another hour. It's cut off. And it never stops, man.
Yeah.
The songs never stop, man. Like, that's when you know that's the best thing about going to the city. We don't have that here. That's why I don't like the radio here. I had a beef. They never created that buzz. That's the problem, too. The DJs in the radio, like, kind of neglected their power. No, they neglected their power in a sense. I don't think they realized that. Hold on, let me put it into a context.
That's a whole other conversation.
No, but it's true.
But
and they can come at me. They can come at me, dude. I don't care because I know the DJs too, right? And I know the culture of these. This is not in this aspect. Because we're supposed to prop up 4 or 5 things and keep it constant for a period of time. That's how the buzz got generated. Like you go to Miami, if the time you're off the plane in South Beach, Miami, okay, you know what's popping in the city.
Yeah.
Because you're hearing these songs being a rotation. We never had a rotation. Flow's rotation was
outlets,
Flow.
fam.
No, when Flow was on the radio, they had no rotation. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Now I understand the new station, like they had that mandate, so that's different, right? But we had opportunities where we could have really set some stuff up, man.
That's facts.
Like the radio signal's not even sounding right, man.
Well, we like,
Oh my gosh, man.
it's crazy. Before I even get to my next question
crazy,
here,
man.
I was actually having this conversation with my girl earlier today before we started this, right? I was like, there's a lack of radio stations out here. And, if you go to New York City, there's like, they're competing with each other. There's like 4 different competing radio stations.
Man.
Right? You know what
and
I'm saying?
It's bubbling, dude.
Besides Sirius Radio that got Sway over there doing his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like here, the ones that we do have, Flow and Vibe, the frequency doesn't even catch for Vibe all the way where I'm in the East End.
It's because and it's gonna sound messed up, but it's like we're too Caribbean. That's the thing. Americans have that. That's what early in the conversation talking about Drake and America. Americans have a thing to get up and make you dance. Americans want to dance.
Yeah,
they want to dance. Give me the music that'll make me dance. They make music to make you dance.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Drake worked so well. I could have done records like that. The one I did, boom. That's just not my aspiration, my sound. It's my career. I always wanted to be an artist like in that Gang Starr kind of longevity. That's always been my thing. And that's just as a trajectory for me to play the long game. I'm playing the long game and the authentic game, right? So I never have that thing to be. So I do projects that may go here, but me as an artist, right? But I always understood that, hey, if I want to bust on a big level, all I got to do is put myself on some rhythmic type dance, moving shit with my vocals, my flow. I'm gone.
Yeah. No, straight up. But you mentioned Gang Starr.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me a story. Tell me the Guru chain story. R.I.P. the Guru.
Oh, that's the craziest story ever. Yeah, I got Guru's chain back.
What happened, fam? That's all I heard, and I need to know the in-between part.
I had a personal relationship with those guys since 91. It's a spiritual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just got pulled back in the room. Me, TTS at the Father MC show. That's when we first met them. I remember EPMD. I didn't even watch the show. We got pulled into the dressing room to get a drop, and it was like 4 hours. They wouldn't let us leave.
Wow.
And then every time I came to Toronto in some way, I was intertwined. And then I worked at Virgin. We did all the records and stuff. So by the time that came,
they were signed to Virgin.
Virgin, yeah. I did all their big promo, all their best release parties and promo ideas was from us. And it was our creative ideas. So they always had, and they always see it. Even when I go to New York, usually I go to New York for 10 minutes, I'd see like Cream or somebody. It's just weird. Like you just have a connection with people. Anyways, we always had this connection. So one of the trips they came up, I can't remember which one it was though. There's so many times that we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We went out, party, did our thing, hooked up. He hooked up later. Yo, I'll see you later. Yeah, whatever. Because we spend like 3-4 days in some calm hotel, pick up, do the press junkets, do this. If it's a show, blah, blah, blah. So, and then he's like, yo, in the morning, we'll talk with her. We'll call or whatever at 10 to 11 the labels. He get the call. Yo, man, can you get your help, man? What do you mean? What's up, man? He goes, my chain. This girl disappeared my chain. I woke up last night after we hooked up. You get too drunk, too high, like, man shit, whatever.
Yeah.
And she tried to scoop the chain and she's trying to front like she's not there. I kind of know where she is. But they were off doing interviews and doing all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Marissa, we'll go get it. I've done that before, dude. I'm with Power Loss, the turntables. We went around trying to go in projects, going through doors, knocking up, do crazy shit.
You were there in that story?
I was doing it.
Yo, fam.
I was doing it.
You don't even understand, bro.
I was doing it.
He told this story on this podcast maybe a year ago.
Do you remember?
He didn't mention the names of the other people who was with him.
No, remember you said, did I do stuff, dude? If you know me, I'm no joke, dude. I'm not a joke. Bro.
I'm so gonna put a cut in this fucking part right there.
I'm not a joke. Like, remember you asked earlier? Oh, did I do stuff? Oh, did I? What, guy?
That's crazy.
Dude, who I was with, how could I not? Like, I'm just gonna go, I'm standing in the corner here. No, dude, I got stories like that. Like I said,
6 foot change wall of a nigga right there,
dude,
bro.
We was, dude. Anyways, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, man. So I was like, I already know how to do all that.
So you got the chain back for
Well, we
Guru.
had to trick the girl. Yeah, we went down. It was on Queensway. She was somewhere on Queensway, right around where the IKEA is, around there, IKEA for the Toronto peoples. And we went in. I remember she was around there. We tricked her somehow on the phone. We did some kind of thing to get her to come outside. And we got to him. We're like, give us the chain right now, dude. And they were already back in New York. So we got the chain, put in the thing. Yo, it was an expensive chain. Brought it back, put it in the mail, sent it to him.
Wow.
I got crazy Guru story, dude.
That's an amazing story, bro. Listen, bro, you have such an illustrious career. We can spend hours here going through We're going to have to do a part 2. But I have more questions to take us to the end of not even the end of this, because your story continues, right? But about 10 years ago, let's say, you had a child.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How did that change you? Or how did that change your even like the way you approached even like getting in like in the music game and stuff?
Well, I wasn't before then. I wasn't, like a lot of people don't know this too. I'm adopted. So what happened was my record came out on 9/11, my first album, and I had to cancel it. It's like cancel the whole thing. It's like canceling your first project. But within that time, I was doing a search for my family, and I found my family within that time.
Wow.
So I just reunited my family for like 5-7 years. My best friend for like 20 years was my cousin. It was crazy. His dad was my first cousin. All this crazy stuff, right? I had a brother here that used to run around with the 40-ounce crew that I knew forever. That was my brother, my big up Dan Roy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And I got my family.
So these people are your blood brothers the whole time.
And I didn't know, dude.
That's crazy.
From all the time we're talking about. We used to run with Bolton, Kyle, all the whole original 40-ounce crew.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, right. So big up Sean, big up Rude. Rude was running around 40-ounce, too Rude. All of them. Yeah. So it's crazy, man. So what were we trying to get
having a child like this, the way that changed you.
So that was just before that, and then I was actually married at the time. Let's get personal. And I left the marriage because I didn't have a kid. Wow. I only got married because I want to start a family. Just at that time, right? And then so once the time I had my daughter, it was like the best thing. It was like within that window of 3 years, right? And it just rejuvenated me because music was kind of getting stale. You've been kind of doing the thing for a while. And it forced me just to reset.
Yeah.
So because that time, like now I record at home. I built all that. It's like keep it up because every generation, every 7, you got to reinvent yourself if you go in the long haul as a legacy artist, right? And we always talk, a lot of artists just can't keep up with the game, right?
Yeah.
So that forced me and it was good at that time. I was actually ahead of the curve. So I was recording myself for years before. And then that's why to this point now, when I do stuff with Phat, it's so quick and it's good. Cause I already was doing that for the last 6 years, right? So so it just rejuvenated me. And just kids do that to you, man. Especially when you always want and anyone that knows me, I already have that gift for children. I'm like one of those guys who I can room with kids or a new baby. They're on me and I'm like this. I'm like one of the biggest kids you could ever meet in this. So that was like I said, she's 11 now. She's doing awesome. French immersion, this, that, the other. Yeah. She's on her way, man.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, but I always wanted it. I was like that one had it so late. I didn't have my daughter till I was like 40.
Yeah.
Because from 15, I was touring. If you check my timeline, so from grade 9, basically, my first tour, I remember was in September, I was on tour with Public Enemy. So I was one of those artists. I went through high school touring. Then 20s was Power Move, this, that, everything, KG.
You're a hip-hop
I never had a break,
bro.
so that was my break. I was a hip hop kid like from time.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you are hip hop embodiment, bro. Because you've been in the hip hop game since like basically before becoming a teenager.
That's what Frankenstein says. A lot of people see me, they go, I don't see it. You can't see that. So what people say when you see me, you see hip hop. Not just the energy of it. Because it's an energy, it's a presence.
Yeah.
Right? And just being tapped in with it. And Frank goes, I love you. Why? He goes, you don't understand how hip hop you are, dude.
You talk hip hop, fam.
Yeah, but that's what we know. It raised me.
No, but you have a rapper's cadence in your voice.
We jumped over the Unity Force. I'm even tied into Public Enemy because I was part of Unity Force too. From 15. So that steered me out of a lot of the trouble too, right?
Okay.
Because he set up those chapters. That's why when the tour came, we got to tour with them too, right?
Okay, so you're like part of Public Enemy's Unity Force. Yeah, I'm one of those 25,000, dude.
Wow. I was meeting in Finch and we had the group. We went to school. I've always done youth pro. I was part of Fresh Arts, initial Fresh Arts. I've always worked with the youth, but I don't broadcast it because I used to do this thing, read to rap. I went to schools in the public schools, working with the youth. I always do that. Like, but
And-
that's just a duty, but it's not something you have to like brag about. Just like it's like being a good parent. You're supposed to be a good parent. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
And tell us before we get to like the end of stuff, right? Or like the history, or like I said, the history continues. But the magazine time. Tell us about working with a magazine, fam.
That was just me and Mansa Trotman started that, and it was just that was another part of me, just exploring the multimedia kind of venue, and I was able to hook up with Tracy McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
She's like the biggest publicist in New York. I was in Rockefeller basically when Rockefeller was open for like 2 days because of that. And my friend Dave Angleson from New York, because I was going to New York. I knew the two biggest publicists in New York.
Okay.
Like I got pictures with Tupac, Snoop, Black and White. I got pictures of those guys that nobody has. You know their shots when they're wearing the suits?
Yeah.
I got 2 pictures that nobody has because he was the one that got the shots.
Wow.
So I went to New York. I go to their office. Tracy, come hang. I would just vibe on the phone. Yo, come hang out with me. You coming down the city?
Yeah.
Even what's her name? I knew forever from Rap Coalition, Wendy Day. I've been linked with Wendy Day from like 89, 90, man. Talking on the phone, kicking it. Like I had those relationships from the side, right? Just being an artist, and they just knew me as for my music and shit. So that just basically made all that shit pop off.
That's dope, man. And
but the magazine. So the magazine, since we had that, that's why we were able to get all those interviews. So if you notice that we had, you see, Wu-Tang, Genius, this, that. And it's because I was hanging around with Bronski at Street Sounds, and I do a little writing for reviews for them. And we're like, hey, it was that time when the Mac first was coming in the home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And everybody like, hey, let's just do a magazine. You know what I mean? So that was a venture we took on, and we actually started really what was like the first hip hop magazine. So it was like 6 or 7 episodes. I still have them. I still got them all fresh and crispy.
You gotta send me some pictures of it so I can use it for posts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I gotta find
you know
the thing that's at my mom's. I got this part in her garage. I gotta go transfer it up to my house. But yeah, when I find it, I'll definitely, man. 'Cause I know I have it in this one, but that's the other thing. I'm that guy that has the archives. I got the flyers.
You got everything from Acme.
Nice. I kept everything. So
yeah.
I know Cardi did his fire starter. Was it the fire starter? One of his album parties. The concert hall, he borrowed my flyers and they put them all up around concert hall. You still got that flyer, special ed? Oh shit.
Yeah. No,
so
fam, you were there from the beginning.
So the magazine thing was, like I said, I always kept myself in other areas while I was an artist. Cause I just figured it was the best way to forge yourself as an artist, right? And it just kept, and I don't even know where that drive. Maybe it's just being raised in a Guyanese household. Guyanese people just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the hustle, man. Just go out there and just try. If you're gonna do it, try and learn the facets. And I just found it so interesting.
No, that's beautiful, fam. And one thing you've transformed physically over the years, right? Like the videos back in the days, there was a husky version of Thrust, right? And then back in the times when we were going to the studio, big salute to Tweezy, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
Big Tweez.
Big Tweez, for sure.
Right? I seen you go through the physical transformation and you started getting into a workout regimen. Can you tell us about that transformation, that workout regimen, and like what was it and what is it?
Well, it was more like fate because it was like I could have been athletic all the time. Like I got the size to be a football player, all this stuff. But the good thing was I never got into sports. Like I told you, from grade 9, I was like, when everyone was going to play football, I was going to go see Big Daddy Kane on the weekend.
Yeah.
Or special ed, or PE, or Ice-T. Like I was running with Ron. We were out. But my friends were also the DJs too. That's the difference for me. I think a lot of the rappers, I came up, which is longevity. My other friends weren't rappers. If you look at all my close friends, the names I mentioned, they were all DJs and producers. Where other rappers kind of hang around other rappers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So even when I'm not doing something, they're playing all the clubs, all the shows and shit.
Yeah.
Well, back to what we were saying initially.
With the workout regimen.
Yeah. So I jumped over. I never trained. I just eating that life from 15, blah, blah. So I remember we went to a listening party and I met a trainer, my homegirl Nadia. And then she just but I always had that thirst, like still have the energy.
Yeah.
So I do it. She goes, oh, you want to think about working out? At the end I go, it'll be dope. So I'll hook it up. So she hooked it up for me. I could pay as I go. And then she trained me twice. I do it once on my own. And then I was able to slide in the gym without the members. Like just, just slide in and do the workout.
Yeah.
And I just caught the vibe. I can't explain. I just caught from after, I think a couple of, and the one thing she taught me was, which was ill. She goes, don't go on the scale, man. I'm going to show you how you get results. The scale is the biggest illusion because muscle is heavier than fat.
Yeah.
So if you're training doing this and that, she goes, you can lose 10 inches off your waist and this and that, and you go on the scale, but you gain 2 pounds.
Yeah.
But what do you want to see? You want to see the 10 inches off your waist, and you want to see the fat turn to muscle. So she kind of broke that shit down, and I saw progress, and I just ran with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've been able to like maintain it. You know what I mean? These days now, I'm not even like us. The gym culture changed so much. I think it's horrible now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I got a bunch of equipment just before COVID, which is dope, like home stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm just on my calisthenics, dude. That's the last year. I didn't want to look at the weights, man.
Yeah.
Push-ups, pull-ups, squats, body weight, dude.
No,
That's
but
my-
you've transformed your
thing, man.
metabolism.
Yeah,
fam,
yeah, everything.
right?
Yeah.
That's amazing,
like,
bro.
Like almost, it's like from 265 to like 180. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But over the healthy way.
Yeah,
You know, like slowly over time.
Yeah.
My diet was terrible. Changed my diet. You know what I mean? Low sugar diet. I just know how to eat, and I know my body now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know your body.
No, that's so dope, man.
But it's dope because I can, like my daughter, like I could run right now. And that's what I'm saying. At this, and that's the thing, I caught it at the right time.
Yes.
I started 30, so the back half. So now when I hit the big OG time, boom, that's what I said. That didn't even bother because, dude, I'm in the best shape of my life.
Fam,
And-
you're 50,
Yeah.
looking like you're still in your 30s,
Dude,
bro.
I get carded every week, dude.
That's
all the time.
crazy.
I get pulled over all the time. Carded, like, see, there's still hair. There's still hair. Everything's still there.
Yeah.
Like, everything's still there, dude. It's not all grayed out. I'm not, but that's the thing. But that's why the other half of it is, if you know me, within thrust, there's trust. If anyone knows me, dude, I'm one of the realest people you could know.
Mhm.
If you don't have to see me for 7 years and see me again, the energy's the same. I'm consistent.
Yeah.
My friends are still my friends. All those people from back then that I thought, they're still my friends
They're
now.
still your
And we
friends
still
now.
talk. You see what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing funny, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't,
No.
because I can be by myself. That's the thing. I always went everywhere by myself, but I know. So, but if you can go by yourself, then you can be with other people, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact, fam. And even like with everything that you've gone through and all of like the illustrious history and the amount of people that you've met along the way and lessons learned and mistakes, what's one thing that Thrust now
Mhm.
would tell let's say a 19-year-old Thrust?
Oh, I already know what that is already, dude. Stay away from, and admit, it's not even mine. And I say it every interview, man. Stay away. And it's from Mary J. Blige, from the dream killers, man.
Stay away from the dream killers.
And the dream killers are going to be the people that's sitting right here and right here and right. It's going to be people all around you. That's why I said I was able to be by myself. Even the last 5 years, I had to kind of pull back myself and just be by myself, man, in a way. You know what I mean? Like, because people don't, for you to be your true self, you got to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And other people on the outside influenced your path. I was always that person. You know why I never ended up like shot, dead, jail? And there's 3 or 4 times I was a witness, intuition. I was in cars twice and I said, I'm going home. Why? Because I feel like I'm in trouble and something's going to happen. Oh, what are you doing? I remember everybody, one time, a word to 10K, he could tell you, hey, no, come on, 10's going to be, let's go to Party Center. Dude, I was almost shot like a couple of times, dude. I was supposed to be right next to the guy that got shot, man. And I got out the car, went home on my own every one of those times. Where people, oh, come on, man, you wimping out. Or even we used to run missions. We used to be downtown, dude. If you was downtown, like this street right now, and oh, man, in your pockets and this, that. Missions like crazy, dude. Right?
I remember the mission.
Right? But every time, let's go. I said, no, I'm not going this time, man. What do you mean? I'm just not going this time. Come on, everyone's going. We're going to go to the spot. Come on, Bill's going. I'm not going, man. I'm not going. Like, the worst was the one in Fleming when they beat the guy at the bat, dude. I almost gonna cry. I remember Ron went on the radio. That wasn't the craziest murders in Toronto, dude.
Wow.
Crazy murder. Flemington Center. Flemmo Youths, you know, it's in the lineage, dude. Even that night, everyone on my star, I felt so bad. Like I was in trouble. I said, I'm not going, dude. And everyone was there was so disturbed. They're scarred from seeing that shit to this day, dude. I remember Ron stopped the radio for like 3 hours to talk about it. Yo, this gotta stop, man. And that's the thing with the violence too, man.
Yeah, can we touch on that before we wrap this
I
up?
think it should be the
Because as an OG, right, you've seen the scene evolve, and you have a daughter, right, who's going to be growing up into this new world that we see here, right? And we've seen, and I know we've seen a lot of violence over the years, but I know it's heightened.
Oh, it's crazy now.
Right?
It's beyond crazy now.
Why do you think it's gotten to this point, and what can we do to bring it down?
It got out of control because you're a young black youth in these streets. How are you going to feel empowered, dude? how are you going to feel empowered? Who's on these billboards? Who's in these positions? I remember Conan and Brian, all these people come to, let's do a thing in Toronto. Where are we, man?
Yeah.
You got to have a sense of pride. When you go to New York, as much as that's what I've seen in Harlem, the thing, like going to the culture, that's part of the culture and the hip hop part. As much, they see people. You see, you got Ali on the wall. They can look around and see people that rose to those heights from where they came from up there, and they have a reason to strive.
Yeah.
These kids are looking around and what? Like, who's going to be for, I understand, but like, and then you're trying to get a job, and then what? Like, because even for me, dude, through all of those accolades I tell you about, dude, the next year I tried to go down to Much Music to get into the award show. After winning the award, you think they were going to let me in? I went down with Rumble. They didn't want to let Rumble in, so I turned around and left. Like, foundation.
Wow.
Like, dude, how the racism, the distance, and it's not even totally racism, just like that's just one aspect of it. But and then from our own community, the lack of things. So it's like, I get it, because we need to see ourselves in a position. I came from a stable home. I was blessed, and I was also traveled a lot. So by the time I was a teenager, I already seen what the world had to offer. And I was always outside of Toronto. So I always knew, like, this is not the end all be all.
Yeah.
And I seen, like, I was in New York and I seen 18-year-olds in, like, Benzes when I was, like, 16. I'm like, what? You could do that, man?
Yeah, crack era, bro.
Yeah, crack era. But not everybody was doing it like that, too, right? Like, just a certain hustles. Like, you know what, your hustle, make your money. You can make your money and be that entrepreneur in certain levels, right? People's doing different things to make money, right? But just that hustler spirit and that drive, right?
Yeah.
So that's what my drive is from the city. Like, I know if you get up and go consistently enough, and they don't have that foundation, and the home is a mess. Like, so we got to start with the home. We got to start with the foundation.
Yeah.
Right? But you got to have a sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
And whatever it takes, when people have self-worth and self-pride, and a lot of it's the music. Like, the music's too unbalanced right now. The music's all, I listen to it, it's all about, dude, nobody lives like that 24 hours a day, dude.
Yeah.
Like, how could you, as much as you are shooting, you're not shooting the gun off, but if you're listening to this music, dude, right, at this point,
you're living vicariously.
You're just living vicariously all day, just running around. Like, you see what I'm saying? We had Ice-T, but we had KRS-One. We had NWA, but you had De La Soul.
Yeah.
You had Tribe Called Quest, but you had Too Short. You had, you see what I'm saying? You had the pimp, the hustler, the smart guy. That's the mosaic of life. And we need, and even platforms, like, be more scrutinous with the music you're playing, man. And look for artists like myself, something credible. Put that in the mix a little more. That's why it's good that you're doing this interview. This shit to like artists, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that's what I see. You have, like, we all have a responsibility at every level to present a balanced thing. But the balance is it's just like the gas pedals is down like this, man.
Yeah.
And it's making the music, like, really, really on a whole to listen to from afar. Because as an artist, you're just so into your own track. But as an artist, try and sit back and look at the scene. What does it look like, man? That's what I do. Like, I'm beyond my own music. I know my music has a standard of it, because certain high-level standard producers, people, they love my music. I'm one of their favorite artists and they play. So I know, okay, I'm there if I can. So I don't have to look at music. But take a look back.
Yeah.
What does this all look like and sound like, man? And try and
a lot of it sounds the same.
Yeah, it's all the same, man.
Yeah.
It's all the same, man. And the sound it's horrible. Like, dude, it's horrible. Like, even New York, it's horrible, dude. New York used to have a sound. The South had a sound. Chicago dude, that's the problem. Everyone just all of a sudden, hey, this started selling. So everybody just jumped on this one sound. Like, and that sound, y'all taking this ATL sound, you should be ashamed to take that. Leave that for them. That's their thing. That's their cult. That's the culture they created, because nobody will open the door for them. Like how Toronto was getting treated when Andre was up there like, yo, man, what? No love, right?
Yeah. We should have the same attitude.
We gotta have that, but no, we just Xerox copies. So we'll never be a true number one if you're a Xerox, dude. You'll never be a hero. You'll be a zero, never a hero. Yeah. You're always in second place. And let me tell you something about second place, dude. That's a scary place to be. You know why? Who remembers second place? Who came second place in the last Olympic sprinting?
I don't remember.
No one remembers, dude. You never remember second. You know what you remember?
We're on that
you remember
Bolt, bro.
You remember first, and third is happy because they didn't think they would be there.
Yeah.
And you remember, that's a good story. Hey, the guy in third, that's usually the guy in 12th, 10th, and he made, and that's Shauna Sullivan. Remember boxing? He got the bronze. He made a big story.
Yeah, the triumph story.
The Canadian game. You see, because he wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
He was kind of, but second place, dude.
And the guy in first, he just was like born for that.
So it's like, I don't know. And I think artists just And it's easy. You just got to go back 10 years and tap into the sound, dude.
Mm.
Don't listen to the sound now. Here's my advice for artists. Go back 10, 50. Here's a whole catalog of stuff. Go tap into that sound and bring it out now in your way now.
Yeah.
And you're going to fly, dude. You're going to fly past everybody. You'll be gone.
Yeah.
You'll be gone, dude. So,
that's jewelry right there.
But the thing is, like, we gotta have that foundation of making money too, as for the streets too.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all out there, you can't be making money if the guns is cracking all the time. Like New York is dope because there's a code of making money. The guns is there, but there's a certain, they're not gonna violate the flow of the money.
Yeah.
Unless you really have to. Chicago, all these certain places, there's a code. Like, we just cowboys out here. We need a system up here. So if you're gonna do that thing, have a universal system of doing it.
Yeah.
Just don't be like freestyling. Come on, man. Nobody's gonna get nowhere for it. And here's the other thing: our population is too small. That's why everyone's getting shot here. There's only 250,000 Black people. So how many young people out there on the streets walking around here? There's probably 30,000. So everybody knows you. This is my message. Everybody, when you're looking at New York, people live in Brooklyn the whole life. They never even go to Manhattan.
Don't even know a
They
Bronx
go
nigga.
2 blocks for the. So when you hear those guys talking, they can do crimes and run. That's all those movies. They do the shooting in Harlem and they drive back to the other borough and they're safe.
Yeah.
Look at all those movies, right? Watch the movies. That's real shit.
Yeah. It don't work the same out here.
It don't work that way. So we're watching this Americanism and all this stuff. Dude, that's not us, man.
Yeah.
You can't do that, man. You could do it, but that's what the casualties are so high, man.
No, fam, that breakdown right there, the 250,000 and the 30,000.
So the young people running, it's only 30,000 young under 30 running around. And it's always been like that. So that's why the shit's popping. That's why these guys are getting caught every 2 days. Yo, when we were young, it was like that too. We had guns. We was the fist or knives. Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Guns was out there too. People was getting capped too, right?
Yeah.
But the thing was, we only had 2 places to party. So you had to deal with your beef, squash, or just never go out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was a balance to it. But now it's just too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You always had those wars going back and forth, but then it was still within the thing and okay, right? So that's, just realize that it's not what you're seeing on TV. I know it's a worldwide show, but for my local people, yo, man, your situation is way different, dude. It's not what you're looking at, and that's why everybody's getting caught, man. It's easy. Everybody know me. I'm one person away from everybody. Everybody in Toronto. Remember that show, a movie? 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Toronto is 1 degree or 2 degrees separate. Everybody's one person away within a name of knowing somebody. Everybody, every person of color, dude.
Yeah.
And I realized that so like years back. I've been trying. When I go to New York, I see the masses of people.
Yeah.
When I go to Atlanta, when you go to Philly, you see like us. Like one borough is more. Dude, there's more Black people in New York than there's the population of Toronto, man.
Yeah.
Remember that in the whole of Toronto.
Yeah.
There's like 8 million Black people in just on. So you go in those areas, dude. You don't even blocks and blocks and blocks. Then you're in the Spanish part. Oh my gosh, blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. And blocks. My aunt is right on the middle in the Bronx. My aunt lived like 3 blocks from the birth of hip hop. Like my aunt, but she passed on like a few years ago. But her spot right on the border, that
Right by
Spanish,
Sedgwick Avenue.
the West Side, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Jerome, right off of Jerome, man. 167th. Yeah, man. So you see that split there, but it's like people want to emulate stuff. Why are you even emulating? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but you got it's family, it's home, it's strength, and just don't be afraid to be an individual. That's what I'm gonna say, man. Like, who cares if people look at you? The next morning you wake up and everybody's in the Bing and you sitting in the crib. It's just your cereal, dude. You'd be a lot happier. Trust me, my friend.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And where are you going, man? In life, man.
Yeah.
Try and have a destination, man.
Yeah. Yo, Thrust, I feel that we got a history plus some jewelry in one piece of content right here, one history piece. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I feel like we need to do a follow-up and keep on going, update of what's going on with you as you continue on your journey through this artistic journey. You know what I'm saying?
I'm down. Like I said, I'm glad you reached out.
Yeah, man.
You're one of the few. Like I said, I look around the city. It's funny. It's Hip Hop 50, and that's another. Like, what's going on in Toronto, dude? Where are we, man?
Yeah.
I haven't got one call for Thrust. So hip hop, dude. Not one call, dude. I got one call. I shouldn't say that. I just couldn't make it. It's like even last year with and I got to say, a lot of people I didn't have a chance to address it.
Yes, please.
With the OVO thing.
Yes,
no, they
please.
reached out, but I wasn't able to just make that. Wasn't like any weird slight, but they reached out like a couple days before, and if they would reach out maybe 3 weeks earlier. But even now, in a sense, that's not on them. There's other people involved who could have reached out to me earlier.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, because you know what? I didn't even have that written down, but I was wondering, they're doing the Northern Touch. Everybody's on the stage from now, even Misfits in town, and the last verse is not there.
Because that's the thing. I'm a current. People forget I'm still current. Like a lot of these artists and a lot of artists and everything, they're not making current music. Like I put out like 50 records in the last 2 years. Current records, so when they're like, dude, I'm not sitting around. I don't live on my past. I've never lived off of my past. Like I don't live. Like when I'm gone, y'all can see then you can check me out. You know what I mean? In a sense. And if you liked it while I'm here, that's cool. But for me personally, like even rest songs I did I don't even listen to it. Like it's done. It's back. Next.
You're off of that.
I got 6 years music right now as I speak to you. Like, dude, I got my catalog is like, that's why you see me just throwing it every now. You can't hoard. Let's get it out to get the buzz to albums. So yeah, so that's what, and they know, like when they reached calls, said, dude, this is horrible timing right now. I'm doing this right here. I said, I really can't make it because I was out of state then. And then the other time, the Rascal, I had to go pick up my family from the airport. They did a thing down at right on Queen Street last time. So I was supposed to be. So those 2 times I just couldn't make it. I can't speak for whatever else is going on right now, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm just thankful that I'm part of that. And it's great. And I got something current that's dope happening right now. Like tomorrow I got a single drop, another one.
Yeah, let's know what you got coming up next.
Kinetic 9. You know what I'm saying? Killer Army, fam. Phat. So that's another single we dropping. So yeah, this year's gonna be a bunch of singles. We got an album we're building up to, which we finished probably about a year ago. But you know the thing with albums, the album sale thing, it's like with the energy you put into it, you gotta make sure that it's worth the vibe when you put it out. Because they get lost in the sauce. It's really about the singles, really, right?
Yeah, straight up.
But I still think the concept of albums is very important, and putting out credible albums and having that in your catalog, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm doing, and y'all know where to find me. Tap in, man. I'm here.
Let the people know where to find you, IG wise, music wise, everything.
Yeah, everything's easy to find. Thrust Music, MUZIK, right across the back. You just tap that in, you'll find me. Facebook, I mean, I'm barely on Facebook, but my Facebook is active. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be active in those areas. But the best place to be current with me is Gram. I chose that one spot. I think it's easy for me to funnel and just get my information in one place.
Yeah.
And all my music's on there. So look for me on there and you get the updates, man. And we're gonna be active. Like we're in your face. I think I got like 4 records out right now. It's crazy right now. One with Dank, one with Landor. It's crazy. We're just dropping. So that's it. We're dropping the songs, doing it right, hitting the promo, and keeping it authentic, man. So
dope.
Stay tuned.
Dope.
We got some dope new material coming, cuzzo.
Dope.
Woo!
Looking forward to it.
Woo!
Looking forward to it.
This is just the teasers. This is in between right now. This is the warm-up. We're doing the warm-up. But the warm-ups are nice, man. But it's nice. The good thing now is I'm working with international, like I'm beyond that local thing. I got artists from all over the world I could pick and work with. Which is dope. That's the dopest thing. So I'm just doing those projects that I want to, that I enjoy to. And then, just enjoying it, man. And that's the thing about music. Enjoy it. Because people can tell when they hear you if you're enjoying it or not. Like, it's a mood.
Yeah.
It's like when 50 Cent raps, you can see that smirk on his face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear that smile. Like, it comes through, man.
Yeah.
The ambiance in the room comes through. So, yeah.
No, man. I'm looking forward to everything you have going on. I once again salute you. And thank you for all your contributions to the game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to all of the things that you have coming up in the future, man.
Well, thank you for the platform, opening it up. You know what I'm saying? We got to do this, chop this up again.
Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure, man. Time well spent. And I hope everybody got some jewels from this. You know what I mean? If you need to find me, just tap in on the gram, man. That's how I do it. That's how I even do all those the things with Phat. And we do all of that over Instagram. It was all over Instagram.
Yeah.
It's crazy, that whole connection. And I just started sending voice messages back and forth instead of text. Texts are too cold. And that's like every morning. That's how we built all this shit. It's nuts. I only met him a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And within like 2 months, we did 2 albums and like 2 albums and a half or some crazy shit.
Sick.
Out of working with some other artists, say, hey, you want to do 1 track? So life's interesting, man. So keep that gram open, y'all. Gram is dope. A lot of artists from my era too. That's where the work is, man. Get on the gram, yo.
Yeah.
And stop hoarding, man. I know y'all got the music. Stop hoarding.
Stop hoarding, man.
People want to hear it, man. It's funny, people complain this is what's missing from the game. It's you that's missing from the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, inject it, man.
Yeah.
So we got a rich scene, and there's a lot of ears internationally that want to hear what we're doing. It's kind of hard to feel it in Toronto, But trust me, on the outside, man, they're hungry for what we got. So
Yeah.
let's do it, man. On all levels, man. A new generation, same thing, man. Let's just get out of the city vibe and let's get My first group was called World Domination. That was I was like, kind of thought that's dope to have that kind of vision at 15. Like just outside of the box. So
Yeah. Nah, King, thank you so much for this time. And before we even get out of here, I want to give a quick salute to my sponsors once again.
Sure, man.
Big salute to the sponsors, Astro Pink. You know what I'm saying? Got me toasty here. Hit them up on their Instagram, Astro Pink Worldwide, or you could check them out on their website, myastropink.com, and check out Diamond Club, deliveries all over the GTA. Hit them up on their Instagram, Diamond Club _905. Tell them that the boy Friday Ricky Dread sent ya. I'm gonna take us out here with because the boy Thrust is spitting some gospel. I'm gonna take us out with the track gospel.
The gospel, okay, let's go, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
We love hip hop.